morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Divya. What about remaining students? Are you all in the link? Yes, reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, today we'll complete Unit 4. Last topic under Unit 4. What was the topic discussed last class? The previous class? Kindly reply. What was the topic discussed yesterday? Yes, unmute and reply, students. Only 32 members have joined.
Microcore processor.
Multi-core. Yes, reply the topic properly. Multi-core.
Graphics processing unit, ma'am.
Introduction to graphics processing unit, right? Multi-core is discussed the previous class. Okay. Did you all refer that topic in the book, and as well as I sent the PPT? Did you read out? Gone through the topics? Okay, fine. We'll go for today's session. Can you see the slides? Kindly reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, fine, good. So last topic under Unit 4 is clusters, warehouse scale computers and other message passing multiprocessor. From the word itself, we have to understand what is a clusters, what is warehouse scale computers, why we say few computers as warehouse scale computers, which classification of computers comes under this warehouse scale computers, as well as there are normally only multiprocessor will support this type of message passing concept. Okay, so what are the computers comes under this message passing multiprocessors? So that is the discussion of today's class. So first you have to know the general meaning of clusters. What do you mean by clusters? General meaning, anyone can reply? Try. If you are telling wrong, no issues. Just try to answer the question. Any idea about general meaning of clusters, pa?
Group, ma'am.
Grouping, fine, good. See, if you just a day-to-day life, you are using Google search, right? How are you able to search a particular word? How much of data are up to date in your hand when you search that word? It is brought from many server. Okay, so here you have to keep in mind the Google, the company is now acting as a it is a structured company where support this clusters based technology. Clusters in the sense there are many supercomputers in their companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook. All those companies are acting as a cluster based companies. What is cluster based companies? Many of the computers are connected to the large amount of data, so where through internet we are able to receive those data. Okay, we are in some other locations. Okay, but if you consider Google or Facebook or Amazon, they are acting as a clusters agent where they collect all the information and pass to us through internet. So we are all said to be message passing multiprocessors. Okay, it is through that clusters agent. So message passing multiprocessor edukku solrana, you are using communication WhatsApp or through emails. It is possible for a normal processor built with the system. Old processor நீங்க யூஸ் பண்றீங்க, அதுல net facility ஓட architecture இருக்காது, supporting architecture இருக்காது. Only the multiprocessor systems. Multiprocessor means the system which is built up of more CPUs, more cores, I7, I3, all those things. Okay, I5, I7, I9 on goes on will support this type of message passing concept. Similarly, what is warehouse scale computers? That is warehouse scale computers like Amazon's who provide more data for the other users. So what type of technology they are following? These are the general information you have to know. Next, clusters, I have already told, set of computers communicating with each other to form and send the information. So a general example for a clusters. So first to understand the term called clusters. What is a computer cluster? It's nothing but a set of computers that work together. If you just imagine a Google company, it is not just a normal having with the mainframe or something. They are having supercomputers where there's many set of computers that work together so that they can view as a single system. They can view as a single system. But it is not that only with their own way of technology or architecture they are able to involve within their company. They are passing the message through our system. So you have to understand what is clusters. Clusters are nothing but set of computers that work together. So if you consider Google or internet providers, anybody, Airtel, all those companies are working with a set of computers together so that they can view as a single system. Okay, overall it is said to be a single system, but it's not really only one system present. A set of computers that work together so that they can view as a single system. That is called as computer clusters. For example, here real-time application, if you see, you imagine these are the more CPUs, more multiprocessors involved inside this unit, clusters unit. This is called as clustering. Cluster-aware storage. So here you can imagine an Airtel, or you can imagine a network providers or Google search or Amazon, a lot of big companies who provide us the information through the internet. Okay, so through internet we are getting the informations and we are passing communication through this internet facility. What does cluster means? So these are the companies who act as a computer clusters. It's just a single system like appearance. So clusters are nothing but there are many large of data available, and those data you can just imagine they are stored with a lot of supercomputers. More data can be stored, and those data not only having the data or information within the large amount of storage, but even they are transferring within the shared caches. So if you just imagine Google like that companies, they have many mainframe computers where there will be many CPUs. Each and every CPU, just imagine these are all a multiprocessor agent having large amount of storage capacity, individual caches, and again inbuilt if that data are not able to store in those supercomputers, they have to depend on large amount of disk subsystems, okay, where more data can be stored here. So this all is forming a separate unit, and through internet, okay, it is able to transfer to the other centers. So through switching or interconnected agency, we are able to get those informations. And you have to know how we are comparing a clusters with the grid computers. Grid computers are nothing but computer clusters have each node set off to perform same task. So if you see this Google, they perform the same task, like information have to be passed, recovered, all those things, controlled within the information flow. There should not be any data loss in between. All those things happens and scheduled by some softwares which is involved for passing those information. Scheduling. When a particular client has been requesting some information, it have to be formed a queue accordingly. The information have to be passed. So regarding computer clusters, they maintain the same task, controlling the data flow as well as schedule. These are things scheduled by the softwares involved inside it. So you have to generally know about what is clusters. So here, if we go for the book information, these are the key points you have to understand. Normally, sharing an address space is for the processor. Each and every processor will have a address space where that address can be known for any data to be stored or data to be retrieved. So those sharing an address space is for the processor. To each has their own private physical address space. If you consider multiprocessor involved here, if you see this diagram, each and multiprocessor concept only. Multiprocessor concept, each processor will have its cache memory, a main memory, okay, register memory, main memory, as well as a common physical memory where all the processor will know the data available in the physical memory. So these data which are all present inside this physical common address memory will be known to all the processor, as well as each and every processor will have its private address also. So this is a classification organized by multiprocessor with multiple private address. Each and every processor will have a private address as well as a common physical address shared to all the processor. So why you have to know this? We'll come to know to the next slides. So how a multiprocessor, you just imagine as a clusters. Clusters have many multiprocessor. So if you want to communicate or exploited message passing, okay, this is a style of computers they follow. So what is happening really? Okay, provide the system has routine. What is the information? Send the messages, receive messages, coordinating those things. That is called as message passing. Okay, any client has been request through the internet, through the clusters, the message have sent to the data have to be received and sent through the net. So sending and receiving messages are being coordinated using this multiprocessor concept. So this is called as message passing. Okay. So one processor knows when a message is sent. Okay, there are multi-processors. So there are many processors. So one processor will know message is sent, and received processor knows when a message is arrived. All those things. Who is receiving that processor inside the clusters? So this is called as each and every processor involved inside the multiprocessor concept, okay, will know which message is coming inside that cluster agent, and which is when it has been received, all those time has been maintained. If a sender needs confirmation, if through the net we need to confirm whether the message has been sent, it is through the message has arrived. What we do, receiver procedure can processor can then send an acknowledgement. Message send and அப்படி வரும் இல்லையா மெயில்ல. இது எப்படி எல்லாமே எது மூலமா நடக்குது? You just imagine you being a client in one person, you're sending a message through the internet providers as well as through the Google, Gmail, all those things, and you are able to get the acknowledgement back. You have to imagine in the cluster end there are many multiprocessor. So each and every multiprocessor will intimate. Even if one failed, one will be intimating that message has been sent this time. That's why சில டைம் வந்து ஏதாவது நெட்வொர்க் ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கா, கொஞ்சம் லேட்டா உங்களுக்கு சென்ட் ஆகும். ஓகே, லேட்டா இருக்கும், இல்லைன்னா அண்டர் ப்ராசஸ்ல இருக்கும். ஆல் தோஸ் திங் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் அட் த எண்ட் கிளஸ்டர் ஏஜென்ட்ஸ். அங்க ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு, அங்க நெட்வொர்க் ப்ராப்ளம் ஆர் சம் பாத்வேல ஏதோ ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குன்னா தான் உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி மெசேஜ் வந்து சீக்கிரம் சென்ட் ஆகலன்னா மெசேஜ் இஸ் நாட் அன்சென்ட். ஆல் தோஸ் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ் யூ கேன் கெட் இமீடியட்லி. So these are things happening within a multiprocessor with multiple private address space. So normally if you consider this clusters, where scale computer, multiprocessor concept, it is all built in a large scale computers. It is not a small scale industries, it is a large scale computers. Large set of computers are connected with the supercomputers where the data are highly performance is been analyzed. So high performance message passing networks. We can say this large scale computer, several atoms of computers are involved in this. We can say the high performance message passing networks, we can say. So absolute communication performance, that clusters built in a local area network. You know, Google is a clusters where they form a local area networks. Similarly, if you consider supercomputers involved, they are acting as a custom networks. Why we say today use custom networks? Most of the supercomputers are used for scientific research works. Okay, NASA, all those things, where it is now been a customized network. Very much needed for the NASA industries, all those custom networks. So the problem is that they must be more expensive than local area networks. Normally, when compared to local area networks, supercomputer networks, custom networks will be costly when normal local area networks. What we use in our area, or you have a gated community, you want to get a network facility, they arrange in a local area networks through the internet facility, Ethernet facility. So there is a difference, and if you see, custom networks are more costly than the local area networks. So few applications today outside of high performance computing can justify the high communication performance with high cost. If you having a good network facility, obviously high performance will be, high cost will be for that network. So these are all for running out some good applications in our systems. So computers, they rely on message passing. Normally, why we use a system? To communicate with our client servers or with a friend server. So rather than depending on catch, coherent, share. Catch coherent na over system la irukra data mattum namakku theriyama we are able to transfer data from one system to other system through the cluster based technology, through the warehouse scale computer technology. So how the hardware designer have to build. So we are not mostly depending on catch coherent share memory. We are depending on message passing communication here. So hardware designer have to concentrate on those type of architecture to be designed. So advantage for also for the programmers, software programmers, they have to focus on this communications is explicit. Message passing concept have to be introduced. Similarly, implicit communications in catch coherent share memory computers also should be. So all those things have to be kept in mind. So a downside for any of the programmer, if you see, it is harder to port a sequential program. We can't depend on a sequential program here. We have to depend on parallel programming. Okay, because multiple data have to be transferred from one system to other system. Message passing computer the system should be a message passing system. So every communication must be identified in advance or program does not work. So these all should be kept by the programmers, software programmers, while they are designing a system. We have covered from the third unit. If you see, we are fully dealing with the architecture design. How the designer have to focus when you are designing a system. So if you are going to make use of your system in message passing concept like mail sending or internet facility, then how the designer have to focus. Okay, that is the point here. So you have already a multiprocessor involved system. How a multiprocessor have to support for a internet based message passing system? How it is going to be helpful? So you can again depend on a sequential program will not work. We have to go for parallel processing here also. Then catch coherent shared memory allows hardware to figure out what data need to be communicated. Okay, as your system, you have to imagine your system is made up of multiprocessor system. So each and every multiprocessor system, there are a lot of CPU present inside it. Each CPU will have a cache memory. So catch coherent share memory allows the hardware to figure out what data need to be communicated and which makes porting easy. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. So which is the shortest path to find out the high performance, implicit communications between the processors. There should be no confusions in it. So here multi-core multiprocessor use, a multiprocessor system. If you have a multiprocessor system, we say it is a multi-core multiprocessor system which will use a shared physical memory in common. What we see the example, it will have a common physical memory to be shared. Node of cluster communicated with each other using message passing. So now using this message passing technique, we have to make this multi-core multiprocessor to be connected to the main clusters. So nodes of cluster communications which is through the Google or Amazon or any web servers, it is able to communicate with our system is you have to use shared physical memory with the node of cluster communicated with each other using message passing. So some concurrent applications have to run parallelly. Yeah, so parallel hardware, the system should be a parallel hardware, independent of whether other shared address or message passing is there. So it should be a task level parallelism. All type of applications like little communication like web servers, mail servers. Okay. So these are the tasks. If you want to search any of the information through your system, then your system should act as a task level parallelism. More applications like mail server have to be supported, file server to store any information that drives. So they do not require shared addressing to run well. In this case, sharing address is possible in the multiprocessor. Illaya, adu mattum run panna, that is not enough, as this is dealing with the cluster based. Try to understand cluster based communication. So unga processor vandu use பண்ற chip have to be facilitate with message passing parallel computer. So you have to design in such a way it should support message passing parallel computer. So clusters has become the most widespread example nowadays. So cluster based system da ellarume. You are not able to transfer any of the information through your system if it is not supporting any of the cluster based system. So message passing parallel computers. Your system should be a message passing parallel computers. So what you have to do, given the separate memories for it, each node of clusters run with a distinct copy of operating system. Okay. So from the Google, you are able to access what type of OS you are been installed. You are installing Windows 10 means your cluster agent is supporting Windows 10. Your clustering agent is supporting another OS, the person who of your friend is using some other OS, Linux or Unix. So how is that? Separate memory is given. So core inside a multiprocessor are connected using a high-speed network. So how you have to design the multiprocessor cores? So high-speed network inside the chip have to be supported. That is said to be multi-chip shared memory system. We say it is multi-chip shared memory system uses the memory interconnect for communication. So even though your system is a multi-core system or multiprocessor system, that's not the issue. But that core or multiprocessor should be connected using a high-speed network inside the chip. So multi-chip shared memory system should be involved for uses for memory interconnection for communication. Try to understand. So memory interconnected have higher bandwidth. Normally, when we support a multi-chip shared memory system inside your multi-core system, then obviously higher bandwidth will be supported. So more information can be shared, message sharing can be done, where that we face this lower latency. Lower latency inactivity will be very less only, allowing much better communication performance for shared memory multiprocessor. If you are using a shared memory multiprocessor and with a multi-chip shared memory system inbuilt inside a system, I mean multiprocessor system, then automatically the memory interconnected has higher bandwidth, or automatically more information can be transferred from your system to the cluster systems. Just wait. So, okay, just wait. Fine. So weakness of separate memories for user memory. So normally user memory ko separate memories pandradala some weakness we have. For parallel programming, strength is in system dependency. So for example, since a cluster consists of, a cluster system consists of independent computers. They have separate set of computers which is doing a single task other than clusters. So cluster consists of independent computers connected through a local area network, and it is much easier to replace a computer without bringing down the system in a clusters. So that is a shared memory multiprocessor involved. So fundamentally we have to understand that shared address. Okay, it's difficult to isolate a processor. So which processor is involved for us to data transfer? That is cannot be known, because as which processor is involved, அது வந்து நமக்கு தெரியாது, because all the processor are using a shared address here. So replace it without heroic work by operating system and physical design of a server. So here clusters to scale down, if any of the server fails, okay, thereby you have to improve the dependability. Meaning is, ஒரு cluster agent வந்து set of computersல work ஆகுது. If any of one server fails, then automatically we have to replace with some other cluster server. So you have to now concentrate on improving the dependability. So since cluster software is a layer that runs on top of the local operating system running on each computer, each and every hardware will run on the softwares. So similarly, clusters softwares is a layer that runs on the top of the local operating systems running on each computers. So this is much easier to disconnect and replace a broken computers. If any of particular server breaks, then it can be easily replaced with the softwares. Okay, and we can rectify the connectivity. So clusters are connected from whole computers independently. Scalable networks, then application that runs on the top of the clusters, all are being involved here. So the lower cost, higher availability, rapid incremental expandability make clusters attractive to server internet providers. For example, Google எதுக்கு எல்லாரும் prescribe பண்றானா, it is very user friendly. Lower cost, highly availability. It is available for all type of systems. Okay, any OS can run the Chrome. So all those things, rapid, incredible, expandable. For internet providers, Airtel, Vodafone, all those things, this type of clusters na the Google is more attractive. So poor communication performance when compared to large scale shared memory microprocessor. Okay, we can go for this cluster based. If you go for search engines, what is our main use of search engine? When we use, where hundreds of millions of us use every day depending upon its technology, this technology, cluster based technology. We are depending on Amazons for any of the things to be brought up, or any of the information to be known, any software you have to download, any hardware or virtual machines you have to download, everything it is through Amazon. Okay, Facebook for communicating, message passing informations, or if you want to know some persons, you're able to access this Facebook. Google, okay, Microsoft. So these are the search engines which are all built with the cluster based technology, and multiple data centers are available in each and every cluster system based here. So you have to just imagine each with clusters of 10 or thousands of servers. Clusters of 10 or thousands of servers involved. That only you have to understand. If any one of the server fails also, no issues. The other we can just rectify with the cluster softwares, and we can make the clusters to work immediately. No issues of it. And as all the cluster agent, you have to imagine it's sharing a shared address. They can identify which processor has been failed, which server has been failed. So automatically we can rectify it soon. That's why we are not facing that much of problem when we are using this type of search engines, cluster based technology. Multiple processors in internet service companies have been hugely successful because of this type of cluster based system. Warehouse scale company computers na enna difference புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. Internet services such as those described above whatever we have seen, Google, Amazon, all those things, constructed of new building to home, power, cool 100,000 services. இது என்ன நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. நம்ம படிச்சது எல்லாமே சர்வர் பேஸ்ட் கிளஸ்டர் பேஸ்ட் சிஸ்டம் from the previous slides. From this slides onwards we have to understand warehouse scale computers. Internet services இருக்காங்க இல்லையா, Amazon, Google, all those things, how they have constructed their area, how they have built their companies. So building to houses and powers, what is the power facility they have to focus on. So most of the servers are working day to day. We are daily searching the nets. So எவ்வளவு transformation of data நடக்கும். We have to make the servers to cool. Okay, cooling agent, all those. So 100,000 servers are involved for cool. Have to be cool. So almost they are classified as large clusters. Warehouse scale computers are said to be large clusters where more data are stored inside it. So you have to know a normal difference between a cluster based technology and a warehouse scale computers, which is said to be warehouse scale computers when we have a large clusters. Each and every clusters are considered as a warehouse scale computers. Their architecture, operations are more sophisticated than compared to the cluster based. We say it is a one chain computers. Cost on the order, it is not that much expensive. It is more expensive. $150 million involved for that building that type of one chain computers for the building. Okay, so a building have to be occupied for creating those warehouse scale computers. Electrical, cooling infrastructure, server, network equipment involved inside it. If you have seen any of the companies, okay, in Chennai, if you see their supercomputers, there will be a large amount of building occupied only for those computers. That is called as warehouse scale computers, where more data can be transferred through that. We say it's a one chain computers. One chain computers na ஒரே ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர் இல்ல, அந்த பில்டிங் ஃபுல்லா சர்வர்ஸ் நிறைய இருக்கும். Okay, how much of servers per houses? Of 50,000 to 100,000 servers involved for this warehouse scale computers, and new classes of computers. That type of classification of computers are called as warehouse scale computers. Any doubt till now, students? Kindly reply. Are you all listening? I need a reply. No reply as usual?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So the most popular framework for batch processing in warehouse scale computer is MapReduce. என்ன மேம் அது MapReduce? Very important concept. இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு ஈஸியா clusters based technology connected with your another multiprocessor, you are able to just give a word in the search engine. நீங்க அழகா கொடுக்குறீங்க, அது உடனே இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் நிறைய உங்களால பார்க்க முடியுது. How is it possible? What is the technology? What is the functions they have used for getting us information spontaneously? When you search the net, how it has been processed inside the server? Okay, how it is processed inside a warehouse scale computers through MapReduce. So what is that MapReduce? So this is called as MapReduce. When you just enter a text in the search engine, okay, how it has been splitted, how the input is splitted, how the particular search engine has been involved, is called as map search, MapReduce. Okay. See, overall MapReduce. This is one type of artificial intelligence related concepts only. When you give an input, you are going to search some input. Okay, you have given this much of words. How it has been splitted, you have to imagine. First line of sentence has been splitted in one part of pathway. There are a lot of pathway, and where some mapping technology or algorithm may have used for mapping the information spontaneously. So identifying where it has have to be shuffled, where it have to be matched, then how it is to be reduced again. Okay, reducing a technology or algorithm used here, thereby the whole test of input has been identified. They are circulated how much of beer word, how much of car word has been, then automatically they are giving the final result. So to identify the total amount of words present here, count of words, then we get the proper result. So this is one type of word count program flow executed with MapReduce. Okay, MapReduce. And it's open source twin Hadoop. Hadoop கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? It is one framework where it is used for identifying the informations. Okay, it's acting as a framework. Twin Hadoop.
Accustomed to working with traditional databases. When somebody talk about Hadoop,
Can you hear it? Kindly reply. Very important thing. Kindly reply, students. Can you hear?
hi, I'm Jared Miller.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes, fine.
If you've been accustomed to working with traditional databases, when somebody talk about Hadoop, it sounds like a crazy mess. So in this video, I'm going to try and simplify only 3 of the many differences between Hadoop and traditional SQL sources, which hopefully will provide context as to where each medium is used. The first difference I want to point out is schema on read versus schema on read. When we move data from SQL database A to SQL database B, we need to have some information on hand before we write to database B. For example, we need to know what the structure of database B is, and how to adapt the data from database A to fit that structure. Additionally, we have to ensure that the data being transferred meets the data types that the database is expecting. If we attempt to load something that does not meet what database B is expecting, then it will spit out errors and it will reject the data. This is what we call schema on read. Hadoop, on the other hand, has a schema on read approach. So when we write data into what's called the Hadoop distributed filing system, we just bring it in without dictating any gatekeeper rules. Then, when we want to read the data, we apply the rules to the code of the data, rather than pre-configuring the structure of the data ahead of time. Now, the concept of schema on write versus schema on read has profound implications on how the data is stored in Hadoop versus SQL, which leads us to our second difference. In SQL, the data is stored in a logical form with interrelated tables and defined columns. In Hadoop, the data is a compressed file of either text or other data types. However, the moment the data enters into Hadoop, the file or data is replicated across multiple nodes in the Hadoop distributed filing system. So, for example, let's say that we're loading Twitter data, and we have a large Hadoop cluster of 1,000 servers. My Twitter data might be replicated across 60 of them, along with all the other profiles of Twitter users. Now, Hadoop keeps track of where all the copies of my profile are. This seems like a waste of space, but it's actually the secret sauce to the massive scalability magic of Hadoop. And this is what leads us to our third difference. When thinking about big data solutions like Hadoop, think of something architected for an unlimited number of servers. So let's stick with our earlier example, and we'll say we have 1,000 servers in our Hadoop cluster. Now imagine I'm searching Twitter data, and I want to see all the sentences that have the word unhappy. The structure of the query of Hadoop will come in the form of a Java program. That program defines the request and distributes the calculation of that search across all the 60 copies of my profile in HDFS. However, instead of each copy conducting the exact same search, the Java code will break apart the word code so that each server is working on just a portion of my Twitter history. As each copy of my Twitter data finishes its assigned segment of history, the answers are delivered to a reducer program in the same node cluster, and this is responsible for adding up the tallies or producing a consolidated list. Now let's say that one of those 60 servers breaks down or has some sort of issue while processing that request. The question now is, Should I hold up the entire response to the user because I won't have a completed data set yet? It's the answer to this question which is one of the primary differentiators between Hadoop and SQL. Hadoop would say no, and it would provide the user with an immediate answer, and eventually you would have a consistent answer. SQL would say yes, must have complete consistency across all the nodes before we release anything to the user, which is called a two-phase commit. Now, neither approach is right or wrong, as both have an important role to play based on the type of data being used. The eventual consistency methodology in Hadoop is a far more realistic method of reading continuously updating feeds of unstructured data across thousands of servers, while the two-phase commit methodology for SQL databases is well suited for managing and rolling transactions, so we're sure we're getting the right answer. However, with Hadoop, we have a caveat. Query is literally a mapping and consolidation program, which propagates to a flexible number of servers. The sky is the limit on how data we can get with that program. But, as you would guess, the Java-based query also increases the complexity to Hadoop. For this reason, you'll find a lot of package distributions in Hadoop that provide some structure and focus to the Hadoop world. For example, Facebook created something called Hive that allowed their team members that didn't know how to write Java code to write queries in standard SQL. Hadoop is so flexible that Facebook was able to build a program to essentially mimic SQL behavior. This flexibility is also one of the reasons it's so hard to nail down a single practice or even a typical deployment time. The good news is that some of the leading tools for data management and analysis are now beginning to natively write programs and pre-package schemas on reads so organizations don't have to hire expensive data scientists to get value from this powerful architecture. Intuicity can help introduce you to some of these powerful platforms that allow for codeless access to your unstructured data. These are sources like your website's log files, unstructured survey responses, or even using Hadoop as an operational data store. I recommend you reach out to Intuicity and talk with one of our specialists. We can help you lower the cost of entry into this dynamic way of consuming data while bringing value to your current infrastructure.
Students, did you hear? Why under warehouse scale computers we talk about Hadoop? Any reply? Are you all listen to the video? Any reply? Yeah, kindly reply, students.
Okay.
Yes, fine. Anyway, I'll send this video again for your. You can separately sit and listen to this information. So just try to understand why these types of computers are said to be warehouse scale computers, where they use this type of technology, MapReduce. Libs functions are used of the same name. So using Java program, we are able to convert all in through internet. So plays a vital role here. So map first applies a promise supply functions to each logical input record. So map runs on thousands of, this is called as mapping, what we have seen, Hadoop acting as a mapping agent for running 1,000 of server to produce the intermediate result of value pairs. Even one server fails, then also you are able to transfer information. There will be no issues for us. So Reduce collect the output of those distributed tasks. So as the task is being distributed, mapped to all thousands of server, club them using another programmer defined functions. So with appropriate software support, designed, both are highly parallel yet easy to understand and to use. So within 30 minutes, no-voice programs can run MapReduce tasks on thousands of servers. So whatever you give in a search engine, you are able to get the information through this MapReduce task only. So MapReduce program is there, MapReduce program that calculate the number of occurrence of each English word what you give in the search engine in the lot collections of documents inside that full warehouse scale computers. So below is simplified version of this program. Here it has been given for you what is that program is. When you give in a search engine, how using this map, what concept or algorithm, we are able to find out the key and how the document is shared to all the 100,000 or servers. For each word, W in value, this emit immediate is the produce list of all words reduced. They have how it has been reduced is string key, then iterator value, everything has been analyzed. For any of the word given, the value is list of count, how much of count is there in that word. Then what is the result have been checked with the some loop of for loop. V in value, and result plus equal to pass. This is the functions called pass integers. Emit as string result. So one mechanism used here. What is this emit immediate? See, the function emit immediate used in map function. Map function emit each word. So if you are giving W, okay, emit each word in the document and a value 1. There will be a key value for it. Why we are giving this through this emit immediate function is to reduce the function sum, all the value per word for each document using pass ins to set the number of occurrence per word in all the document. So we are using this type of coding. So map runtime environment schedule, map task, and reduce the task for server of warehouse scale computers. So I'll send the video explaining this code. So at this SGen scale, we understand which required innovations in power distribution. So you have to focus on when you this scale, when you are going to design a warehouse scale computers, power distribution has to be focused, cooling, monitoring. So you know, you have seen that video, how much lot of servers are involved in this. Operations, WSC, that is warehouse scale computers, is a modern descent of from 1970. They started with the supercomputers involved, making Seymour Cray the godfather of today's WSC. Is now said to as godfather, who have got this type of architecture, who have given the idea of this type of architecture. Okay, that is warehouse scale computers. So SGen's computer handled computations here. Few companies could afford them. Companies that we have seen, right? Adobe Technology, Networks. So this time the target is providing information technology for the world instead of high performance computing. Justify my system is performing well, that alone if you focus, that is not enough. Now it has been advanced. Most of the warehouse scale computers are used for scientists and engineers for designing any of the structuring networks or any of the satellite based scientific works where more information have to be involved. இப்போ எந்த அளவுக்கு டெக்னாலஜி டெவலப் ஆயிருக்குன்னு நீங்களே அப்சர்வ் பண்ணிடுவீங்க. முன்னாடியெல்லாம் ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு கண்ட்ரி டு அதர் கண்ட்ரி மூவ் ஆகுறது, அந்த மாதிரி இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் மட்டும் தான் நடந்துட்டு இருந்தது, இல்லைன்னா ஸ்பேஸ்ல இருந்து. நவ் வி கேன் ஜஸ்ட் மூவ் டு அதர்ஸ் மாதிரி they have analyzed more informations through this high performance computing only. So scientists are mostly depending on those types of data transfer from cluster agents to other cluster agents. So warehouse scale computers really plays a more important social role today than clay supercomputers, which was invented in 1970s. Now it is becoming a vast usage in the when compared to the past. While they share some goals first, warehouse scale computers have three major distinctions. What is the difference? You have to know three major distinctions. Ample easy under the concept of parallelism, where the more multiprocessors are involved here. So this is overall idea about why we say this warehouse computing is a easy parallelism concept. So architecture has no concern here. We are using batch applications here. When you give a particular search word in a search engine, normally it goes for batch applications like map, reduce, benefit from number of independent data set that need independent web pages from web claims or been passed. Interactive internet server applications are involved. That's why we say software as a service. Amazon plays a vital role for software as a service. SaaS can benefit from millions of independent users. If I need to install any OS, if I want to get any of the virtual machines, I'm able to get benefit through this software as a service. Okay, interactive internet servers. We can get, like, we can read information, we can write information, we can upload, we can download, dependent on the as a service, need to synchronize, organize properly. So for example, search what you give in a day-to-day life for getting information. Use read-only index. Getting information, we are reading information. Through emails is normally reading and writing independent informations. So these are all being supported using this warehouse scale computers. This type of easy parallelism, request level parallelism. We can say under warehouse scale computers has request level parallelism. Communications and organizations have to be involved properly to do its independent effort, can proceed normally in the parallel mode. Operational cost count. When you want to focus on WSC, that is warehouse scale computers, cost plays a vital role. So server architecture design their system for peak performance within a cost budget. We have to get a good performance when you are constructing this type of warehouse scale computers. Peak performance with its budget. So worry about energy only to make sure they do not exceed the cooling capacity of their as we are going to deal with thousands of server, we have to focus on cooling capacity. So any of mischief happens within that network, we have to face that. So accordingly, we have to construct the server architectures. So they usually ignore operational cost of server. Ignore the operational cost of server. Suppose server has failed, they mostly are not focusing on those things because as you know, even one server fails, it's not going to affect the network for a long period of time. Assuming that they pay in comparison to purchase cost, they can compare for the purchase cost, which can be affordable. So operational cost is not focused here; they are ignoring it. So WSC has longer lifetime. Very important point. The building used for conducting this type of warehouse scale electrical information, cooling infrastructure are often. What is this? Amortize. Amortize means payback. It is payoff, payback. Okay. Repaid, can be repaid over 10 or more years. Okay, once you are constructing this sustainable for 10 or more years, so operational cost is, so operational cost obtainable, we have to focus on its energy, electrical energies, power distributions for all the server, equally distributing, and cooling capacities represent more than % of cost when you focus on constructing WWare scale computers, and it is withstanding for over 10 years. Scale and opportunity problem associated with scales. What is that scale? Warehouse scale computers. What problem? So construct a single warehouse, you must purchase servers. For constructing a single warehouse scale computer, purchase 100,000 servers along with the support infrastructures, which means volume discount. Normally, if you are going to purchase, then there will be a normal discounts, right? Support infrastructure, we had focus on those things. WSC are so massive intensively that you get economy of scale when you are working under this type of companies. Like you have a good income because day-to-day life, all the peoples are making use of this type of warehouse scale computer. Interactions or communications. The whole now, as in the pandemic situations, more involvement in these internet transformation search engines. So that's the point they are telling. So WSC, warehouse scale computing, or more massive intensively, that you get economy of scale even if they are not many WSC, because you have to understand only few people are owner of this WSC, because constructing this WSC, maintaining this is not a easy job, that you can understand, I think so. So obviously economy of scale increase only for who are having this, as most of the people don't go for this type of constructions. So economy of scale leads to cloud computing as low per unit cost of WSC when compared to WSC mostly used for scientific and engineers works. Instead of going for a warehouse scale computing, cloud compute. So cloud companies would resend server at a profitable rate. So since below with what is that cloud computing? Cluster based computing's cost outsized to the do it themselves. So flip side of economic opportunity of scale is need to cope with the failure frequency of scale. So even if server has mean time failure of an amazing 25 years with a 200 hours, the WSC architecture would need to design for 5 server fail every day. So the problems they face when they are running this type of computers. Try to understand this WSC scale computers architecture would need to design for 5 server failure every day. The annualized disk failure rate abdin pata, they had a survey report that was measured at Google at 2% to 4%. So disk failure happens. As you can imagine, whole country, whole universe is making use of this type of warehouse cloud computing. So obviously they feel a problem that if server fails every day. So if they are 4 disks per server, then annual failure rate is 2%. So WSC architect should expect to see 1 disk fail every hour. So approximately they found out every hour some disk have to be failed. So false tolerance is even more important for when you focus on this WSC architecture and the server architecture. Cloud based, when you compare, this face more problem. So the economic scale unable to rectify this WSC has released the long dream of goal of computing utilizing cloud computing. Means anyone, anywhere with good ideas, a business model or a credit card can trap thousands of servers to deliver their vision almost instantly around the world. If you are being you're going to hold a company with going to have an idea of creating this cloud computing, you have to keep these things in mind. Okay, computing means anyone, anywhere with good ideas, a business model you have to frame. Credit card can trap thousands of server. Then you can create this cloud computing networks. Try to understand. You have a lot of data. So if you being like Google Mari neenga or company eduthu naduthreenga, you have to focus on the people or whoever is going to be getting benefited for your company. They normally what they expert. They have to some ideas from your company. Right? So anyone, anywhere with good ideas have to be communicated. Business model have to be framed in such a way there should be no mismatch of information passing, message passing. Those things should not be avoided. And if you want to solve any of the things, or if you want to send any information within the client servers, that model have to be designed properly. Credit card can trap thousands of server. Accordingly, you have to design, and visions are instant around the world. So lead the growth of cloud computing. When you want to creating a cloud computing, you will face the problem of security, privacy standards, rate of growth of internet bandwidth. Proper internet bandwidth have to be facilitated so that all the client are making use of the computing. So these two things are more important for message passing information. So cloud computing, in 2012 itself, Amazon Web Servers have been created. So new server capacity every day to support all the Amazon global infrastructures started from 2003 when Amazon was. These are the little bit cloud computing agency. Cloud computing is the split. First, Amazon does not place as a warehouse scale computing. Now only it is said to be a warehouse scale computing company. But now, at the beginning, 2012, it was a cloud-based company where first they supported services, then global infrastructures, then now they have got 6,000 employees, enterprising revenue, more $1 billion have been now earned by this Amazons. So under the importance of message passing microprocessor, cloud computing you have to understand under this last topic in unit 4. And we have to thank Moore law where that particular person only stated us we have to always increase number of cores per chip. And along with increasing that core per chip, now we have focused on network inside a chip. We have brought inside a chip networks. So next further topics we are not going to deal. That's all over. So topology, you know what is topology? Network topology or given importance in small and as well as in large. How these multicores are been connected. So can anyone answer this question? What is SMP expansion? What is SMP expansion? Can you unmute and reply? What is SMP? See, we have seen SISD, SIMD, MIMD, MISD. Like that SMP we have seen. What is that? Try.
Multiprocessing.
இல்ல மல்டி த்ரெடிங் அது இல்ல, அது எஸ்எம்டி. நான் சொல்றது எஸ்எம்பி. அது எதுல வரும்னு சொல்லிட்டேன். எஸ்எஸ்ஐடி, எஸ்ஐஎம்டி, எம்ஐஎம்டி, எம்ஐஎஸ்டி இல்ல. அடுத்தது எஸ்எம்பி. ஷேர்ட் மெமரி மல்டி ப்ராசஸர் படிச்சிருக்குமா இல்லையா?
Yes, ma'am.
The question here is like shared memory multiprocessor. ஷேர்டுனா உங்களுக்கு தெரியுது, ஒரு காமன் அட்ரஸ் பஸ் ஷேர் ஆகும் எல்லா ப்ராசஸருக்கும். Like that, message passing computers rely on log for synchronization. True or false? So இதுல என்ன படிச்சோம்? ஷேர்டு மெமரியில வந்து ஒரு ப்ராசஸருக்கும் ஒரு நிறைய ப்ராசஸர் ஒரு மெமரி ஷேர் ஆகும். இப்போ ஏதாவது டேட்டா டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் ஆகுதுன்னா நடந்துட்டு இருக்குன்னா ஒரு ஒர்க் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கும் போது அந்த ப்ராசஸ் வந்து லாக் பண்ணிட்டு அந்த டேட்டாவை ஆக்சஸ் பண்ணும். அதுக்கப்புறம் லாக்கை ரிலீஸ் பண்ணிட்டு அடுத்த ப்ராசஸருக்கு மூவ் பண்ணும். ஸோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் சின்க்ரனைசேஷன். கரெக்டாக ஆர்கனைஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம், கோஆர்டினேட் பண்ணிருக்கோம், நம்ம படிச்சோம் SMP. Here the question is message passing computer rely on log for synchronization. True or false? So computers, they rely on message passing for communication rather than cache coherent shared memory, as much easier for hardware designer to build. Yes, find out the answer soon. Find the answer for these two questions and send me in my number personally. Clusters have separate memories and thus need many copies of operating system. Clusters separate memories and thus need many copies of operating system. I have given one question. So total 3 questions. You have to find a little small assignment for you and sir, and post me in my WhatsApp number with the explanation. Jay Surya. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Absent is மட்டும் நோட் பண்ணுங்கப்பா.
Just a minute, ma'am.
So I'll send you the terminology, some videos to understand this last topic. Clusters, large scale computers, managed power computers.
I have taken screenshot, ma'am.
Okay, absentee name list மட்டும் அனுப்பிருங்க. Thank you, students. We have completed unit 4. I'll send the information, read out, and we'll try to complete 5th unit. Send the PPT or I'll just explain whenever you are free. Okay, we'll see. Thank you, students. Thank you for.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.